Chosen one. Heaven has paused for you in this very moment. The world rushes forward, restless and distracted. But eternity is not rushing. Eternity is waiting on you. God has stilled the noise so you can hear what truly matters. You are marked. You are set apart. And nothing about your journey has been wasted. Think of it like a painter holding his brush above the canvas. The pause is not hesitation. The pause is intention. That is where you are standing, the divine pause, before the next stroke of destiny. You've asked yourself, why do I feel like I carry more than others? Why does my road seem longer? My fight more intense? But chosen one, what you call weight, heaven calls evidence. The burden you feel is not punishment. It is proof. Proof that heaven trusts you to hold what many could not carry. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a seed buried under the earth. It looks like nothing is happening, day after day. It lies unseen in the soil. But underground, something is stirring. The shell is cracking. The roots are stretching. And soon, a sprout will break the surface. The pause isn't death, it's preparation for life. That seed is you. And you are not the first to endure such seasons. There was once a young man who worked quietly in the fields. Forgotten by his own family, he lifted his eyes to the stars at night, whispering prayers that no one else cared to hear. Yet those very prayers became the shield that protected his household, the oil that anointed his future. Like him, you may feel hidden, but you are not overlooked. Heaven knows your name. As it is written in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 15, look, there on the mountains, the feet of one who brings good news, who proclaims peace. Celebrate your festivals, Judah, and fulfill your vows. No more will the wicked invade you. Chosen one, do you see it? This is not just about survival. It's about proclamation. Your very steps are bringing good news. Your persistence has already terrified darkness. That is why the enemy worked so hard to wear you down, because your endurance itself is a declaration of victory. Picture yourself walking into a room where every light has gone out. You carry only a single lantern. To the untrained eye, it looks small, but as soon as you lift it, every shadow is disrupted. That's what your obedience has done. You have shifted entire atmospheres without even realizing it. This moment is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. Heaven has pressed pause to tell you, you are chosen, and your persistence has brought joy to the heart of God. Now, if these words resonate with you, I invite you to take a simple prophetic step. Tap like as a sign that you are stepping into this pause with heaven. Share this message so that another weary chosen one can rise again. Subscribe so you don't miss what heaven is pouring out in this season. And in the comments, I ask you to write only one number, 444. That number will be your marker, your prophetic echo in the digital world, saying, I agree with heaven's pause. I choose his peace. Heaven will recognize it. Angels will record it. Chosen one. Remember this. The pause of heaven is never empty. It is filled with promise. And it is the sound before the song of victory begins. Chosen one. Pause and realize this. The silence around you is not abandonment. It is concentration. When a jeweler examines a rare stone, he holds it up to the light, turning it slowly to catch every hidden facet. That is what God is doing with you right now. The pause is not rejection, it is inspection, preparation, refinement. You are the gem being polished for display. And know this, even in the pause, heaven is not still. Angels are moving. Doors are aligning. Paths are being cleared. You may not see it yet. But what feels like delay is heaven's construction site. The foundations are being laid for the life you prayed for, the destiny you were born to walk in. So, lift your eyes. Chosen one, do not mistake stillness for emptiness. You are standing in the sacred breath before the shout. Heaven has paused. Yes, but only to spotlight you. Soon, the next chapter will unfold, and the world will see what heaven has known all along. You are chosen, and you are ready. Chosen one. The silent tears you shed have not been wasted. Every drop has been counted, stored, and remembered in heaven. You thought they disappeared into your pillow, into the ground, into the night. But they were gathered. Not one was ignored. Not one was overlooked. There were nights you tried to hold yourself together, whispering questions only heaven could hear. Why me? Why now? When will this end? And when no answer came, you assumed silence meant absence. But the truth is far greater. Silence meant listening. God does not rush to speak when He is leaning in to capture every word of your cry. Picture a bottle on a shelf in the throne room of God. Inside it are the tears of those who refused to give up, even when everything seemed lost. Yours are there. They are liquid prayers, transformed into evidence that you endured when you could have abandoned hope. As we are reminded in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, weeping may last for the night, but joy comes with the morning. When you remember this, your tears are no longer shame. They are testimony. The world teaches that strength means never breaking, never crying, never admitting pain. But heaven teaches the opposite. True strength is not the absence of tears. It is the willingness to keep walking while tears flow. Consider the story of Hannah, barren and ridiculed, pouring out her heart before the temple. The priest thought she was drunk, but in truth, she was praying with a depth words could not contain. Her tears were her language, her brokenness, the ink of her prayer. And God answered. The child she longed for was born, and his name Samuel means God has heard. Your tears are doing the same. They are saying what words could not, and heaven has heard. Maybe you thought your tears disqualified you. Maybe you believed strong faith should never bend or break. Yet look at Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Sweat like drops of blood fell to the ground as he wept in anguish. The Son of God wept, and heaven responded by sending an angel to strengthen him. If the Savior himself was met in his tears, how much more will you be met in yours? Think of your tears like rivers. Rivers carve valleys, shape landscapes, and create paths for life to flow. In the same way, your weeping has carved a deeper place in you for God's presence to dwell. The valley of sorrow becomes the channel where joy will later flood. Chosen one, you may not realize it, but your silent tears have been prophetic. They declared, I refuse to quit. I refuse to bow to despair. The world saw weakness, but heaven saw warfare. Every tear became a weapon. Every cry became an arrow, piercing the darkness. And do you know what happens next? What was sown in tears will be harvested in joy. The prophet wrote it plainly, Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of gladness. The very places you wept will one day become the very places you sing. Imagine walking back to the same doorstep where you once collapsed in grief, but this time with laughter echoing from your lips. Imagine sitting in the same room where you once asked God, "Why me?" But now you whisper, "Thank you." This is what your story is becoming. The same ground that absorbed your tears will soon host your victory dance. And when that day comes, you will understand none of it was wasted. Not one tear slipped through the cracks. Not one cry went unheard. Your pain became the ink God is using to write your testimony. So let your heart rest in this truth. Your silent tears are sacred. They are remembered. They are recorded. And they are preparing the way for joy you cannot yet imagine. Your tears, chosen one, have been prayers that words could not form. Each one whispered what your lips could not say. Lord, He still trusts you. Heaven has treasured those tears like jewels, turning sorrow into intercession and pain into power. Even when others dismissed your weeping as weakness, the Spirit knew it was strength, like rain softening the soil before a harvest. Your tears have prepared the ground for new life to break forth. They have watered promises that are about to bloom, and soon you will look back on this season differently. What once felt like breaking will be remembered as birthing. The same eyes that once wept will soon shine with joy. For the God who counted your tears is faithful to crown you with laughter. Chosen one, you have always been different. Though at times you tried to hide it, you felt like the odd one out, misunderstood in circles where others seemed comfortable. The truth is this: your light has never belonged in dark places. Your very presence unsettles what is unclean. You are like a lamp carried into a room where shadows once ruled. Instantly, the atmosphere shifts. Some didn't understand why you carried a weight they never saw. Others mocked or dismissed you because they could not explain the authority in your voice or the fire in your eyes. But it wasn't them rejecting you, it was the darkness inside them reacting to the light inside you. You are not the problem. You are the answer, the disruption, the chosen vessel through which God exposes and heals. Think of a lighthouse standing alone on a cliff. Storms may rage. Winds may batter its walls. Waves may crash violently against its base. Yet the lighthouse does not bow to the storm. Its beam of light cuts through the chaos, guiding those lost at sea. That is what your life is, a steady signal of hope and truth in a world drowning in confusion. As was spoken in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18, "The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day." End quote. This is your identity. Even when you feel dim, you are blazing brighter than you know. Even when you feel weary, your very endurance shines like dawn. You don't need to chase recognition. Light doesn't argue with darkness, it simply shines. Let me tell you about a young man who once felt invisible. He worked tirelessly, unnoticed by those around him, mocked for being too quiet, too different. Yet every time he entered a room, arguments seemed to soften, and those in pain felt strangely comforted. He didn't understand why until one night, in prayer, God revealed, "You carry my light." From that day, he stopped questioning his difference and started walking in it. Like him, you will soon see that what you thought was isolation has always been consecration. And now, I want you to take a small but powerful step. Write these words in the comments: I carry light. Do not underestimate how such a declaration matters. It is more than text, it is agreement. When you type those 3 words, you are aligning your earthly voice with heaven's truth about you. You are rejecting every lie that said you were too strange, too broken, or too weak. You are claiming the truth. You disrupt darkness simply by being who God made you to be. The world may try to dim you, but chosen one, you were never created to blend in. You were created to stand out. And your light, your unmistakable, God-given light, will only grow stronger, day by day, until shadows have no choice but to flee. Chosen one, do you see now why you never fit into the molds others tried to place you in? Light can never be contained in boxes built for shadows. When you tried to shrink yourself, to blend in, it only brought frustration, because heaven never designed you to be small. The resistance you felt was the spirit inside you, refusing to let your flame go dim. Every room you enter becomes a battlefield between light and darkness, though most cannot see it. When you sit quietly, it is not weakness, it is discernment. When you speak truth, even softly, it carries weight, because it is not only your voice, but God's authority echoing through you. That is why conversations change, why atmospheres shift. When you arrive, and yes, this has made you misunderstood. Some have left you, some have questioned you, and some have even mocked you. But that rejection was confirmation. The world cannot always embrace what heaven has anointed. If your journey has been lonely, it is because you were walking where few dare to walk, carrying a torch others were not entrusted with. Now hear this: your difference is your assignment. Your uniqueness is your gift. The very things you thought disqualified, you are the markers of your calling. You are a living signal of God's light, designed not only to endure storms, but to guide others safely through them. So the next time you feel out of place, remember, you are not misplaced. You are divinely positioned, and the day will come when the very light people resisted will be the light they run toward. Stand firm, chosen one, because the dawn is only getting brighter. Chosen one, there was a moment in your life when you almost gave up. Perhaps no one else even knew how close you were to quitting, how heavy the weight had become, how endless the night seemed. Outwardly, you smiled, you kept moving, but inwardly you stood at the edge of surrender. That moment, hidden from human eyes, was a battlefield that eternity itself watched closely. You did not quit. You may have stumbled. You may have slowed. You may have even crawled, but you did not stop. That decision, quiet as it was, shook the spiritual world. It was not dramatic. There were no trumpets, nor crowds, nor applause. But in the unseen realm, angels rejoiced, and darkness shuddered. For the enemy's greatest weapon is not pain or pressure, it is despair. And when you refused to yield, you stripped hell of its victory. Think of a soldier standing guard through a cold night. His body aches. His eyes burn with exhaustion. Yet he refuses to abandon his post. At dawn, no one thanks him. No one notices the long night he endured. But his presence made the difference between safety and destruction. That soldier is you. Your perseverance has protected more than you know your family, your future, your destiny. and the scriptures confirm this truth. In the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36, it is written, "You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised." And you see, perseverance is not glamorous. It is not easily celebrated. It often looks like simply showing up again, breathing again, taking one more step. But in heaven's eyes, perseverance is one of the highest forms of worship. Because when you choose to keep walking in the dark, it means you trust that light still exists ahead. Let me share a story. There was once a young woman who carried a dream in her heart. One she believed was from God. For years, she worked faithfully, but nothing seemed to move. Doors closed. People doubted her, and eventually she began to doubt herself. One night, she sat by her window, ready to let go of it all. But as tears fell, she whispered, "Lord, if you still want me to keep going, give me strength for one more day." She woke up the next morning, and nothing seemed different, except she had a new sense of peace. She kept going. Months later, the breakthrough came, and she realized the miracle wasn't in the result, it was in the moment she decided not to quit. That is your story. 2. Heaven remembers the moments you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," and yet chose to rise anyway. Every time you did, it was a declaration louder than any sermon. "My hope is still alive." That sound carried weight in the spiritual world. Demons trembled because they realized they could not silence you. Angels rejoiced because they saw your strength was not your own, but a gift from God. Perseverance is not only about your story, it ripples outward. Others watch you, even when you do not know it. They see your endurance and find courage for their own. Just as a single candle can ignite others, your refusal to give up lights torches in the hearts of those around you. That is why your perseverance matters on more levels than you realize. Consider the tree in winter. Its branch look dead, its form brittle and lifeless, but deep inside, life continues. Roots stretch downward, unseen, and when spring comes, what looked finished bursts into blossoms. That is you, chosen one. The winter tried to convince you that you were done, but your roots only grew deeper. The coming season will reveal the strength you gained in silence. Never underestimate the moment you chose to endure. It was not small. It was eternal. It marked you as one who cannot be broken by circumstance because your spirit is anchored in God. You didn't just survive, you shifted the balance of the battle. So stand tall in this truth. When you didn't quit, heaven rejoiced. Hell trembled, and history itself was altered. Chosen one. The unseen strength you carried in that season was not wasted. Heaven was recording every breath you took when it would have been easier to give up. That is why your story carries such authority, because it is written not only in victories, but in the valleys you endured. And when the next storm comes, you will remember, you have already stood where others would have fallen. The same God who held you then will hold you again. Your perseverance is not just memory, it is prophecy of greater victories ahead. Chosen one. While you thought you were hidden, heaven was weaving something glorious in secret. A crown was being prepared for you long before you even imagined you were worthy of it. Every unseen act of faith, every quiet decision to obey, every moment you turned away from compromise, these were the jewels placed into that crown. You may not have felt it, but even in your silence, God was shaping something royal, like a sculptor chiseling marble in a dim workshop. Heaven was shaping you away from the crowds. To others, it looked like nothing was happening, but every strike was intentional. The stone was being refined into something priceless. That is why it felt lonely. That is why the fire seemed unending. Crowns are not forged in comfort, they are forged in fire. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, the promise is clear. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Chosen one. This crown is not for vanity. It is a symbol of responsibility. It is the Father saying, "You were faithful when no one saw. Now you will carry authority for many to see." That is why you were never overlooked. Heaven saw every trial and every victory hidden in the shadows. Think of it like a seed hidden underground. For a long time, nothing shows on the surface. It seems forgotten. Yet beneath the soil, roots spread, strength builds, and life stirs. Suddenly, at the right season, the sprout bursts through, undeniable and unstoppable. That sprout is your crown moment, the public unveiling of what was long prepared in secret. And chosen one, because heaven honors you. I also want to invite you into something that feels deeply personal. When you interact with this message, when you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not just helping numbers grow. You are like a lantern bearer, carrying light into another soul's midnight. But there is another step, one that I offer gently and sincerely, never as a demand, but as an invitation. To donate is like adding oil into a lamp. The flame was already lit. But with oil, it can burn brighter and longer, reaching farther into the dark. When you give, you are not paying for words. You are sowing into a movement that keeps these lights alive for those who have no flame left in their night. Every act of support, whether a tap of like, a simple share, a subscribe, or a seed of donation, is like placing another stone into the foundation of a lighthouse. That lighthouse then stands tall against the storm, guiding countless others home who might otherwise be lost. Maybe you've been touched by these messages. Maybe they have been a lantern in your night season. If that is true, and if your heart feels stirred, consider becoming part of the foundation that keeps this lantern burning. A small gift, whatever it may be, is not just a donation. It is a ripple that carries light into places you may never see with your own eyes. I say this clearly. Your value here is not measured by whether you give or not. You are chosen regardless. The crown is prepared for you regardless. But just as a farmer who sows sees fields of harvest, so too will those who sow into this work see fruit not only in this life, but into eternity. Picture your giving like placing another jewel into someone else's crown. Perhaps you will never meet the person on earth whose life was changed because you helped keep these messages flowing. But one day in eternity, they may approach you with tears in their eyes, thanking you for watering the seed that saved them. That is the unseen beauty of giving. It multiplies far beyond your reach. And so, chosen one, walk with freedom. If your heart says to act, act. If your heart says to wait, wait. The invitation is not about pressure, but about participation. For those who choose to step in, The harvest will always outweigh the seed. As you sit with this, remember, your crown is already being polished, your testimony already being prepared, your breakthrough already closer than you know. And whether you like, whether you share, whether you subscribe, whether you donate, know this truth: you are part of a movement of light that darkness cannot extinguish. And when heaven places that crown upon your head, it will not only shine for you, but for every life your light has touched along the journey. Chosen one. There was a moment when your yes to God shifted more than you realized. It may have seemed small, just a decision whispered in prayer, a step you almost doubted, but in the unseen realm, it was thunder. That obedience tore chains that had wrapped around generations. It dismantled curses that were spoken long before you were born. And heaven smiled. Because you chose alignment over rebellion. You didn't see the ripple at first. You thought it was only about you, only about your personal walk. But in truth, your yes carried weight for those who come after you. Like a stone dropped into a river, the circles widened and widened until entire bloodlines felt the impact. Consider Joshua, standing before the people of Israel. One man's declaration, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord," became the anchor for an entire nation's direction. That is what your yes is doing. It is anchoring a story not only for you, but for those who will walk in your footsteps. Scripture speaks in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, verse 33. Walk in obedience to all that the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live and prosper and prolong your days in the land you will possess. Obedience is not about rules. It is about alignment. When a sail is set properly to the wind, the boat does not struggle, it glides. Your obedience is the sail. The Spirit is the wind. That is why some doors have opened with surprising ease since the day you chose obedience. It wasn't chance. It was alignment. Let me tell you a story. A man once felt God leading him to forgive someone who had deeply betrayed him. Everything in his heart resisted. The pain was too real. Yet one night, with trembling lips, he whispered, "Lord, I forgive." He felt no immediate relief. But weeks later, the bitterness lifted, peace flooded, and reconciliation bloomed. What he didn't realize was that his act of obedience broke a generational cycle of resentment that had poisoned his family for decades. His yes was the key for others' freedom. That is you. Your obedience has already undone invisible knots. There were doors in your lineage locked tight. But your yes placed the key into God's hand. And when He opens a door, no one can shut it. Perhaps you've noticed resistance rise when you stepped into obedience. That is because obedience threatens the enemy. It dismantles his plans at the root. Disobedience hands him territory. Obedience snatches it back. When you obey, even in what feels small, you are taking back ground for the kingdom of God. Imagine a chain stretched tightly across a gate. One link may look insignificant, but if that one link breaks, the whole chain collapses. Your obedience was that link breaking. What felt like a single decision was the collapse of a stronghold. And here is the beauty. Heaven is not asking for perfection, but direction. Your yes today is enough to redirect entire seasons. God does not expect you to never stumble. He expects you to keep choosing obedience when you rise. That is what delights Him. That is what makes angels rejoice. So, chosen one, mark this moment. Your obedience is not small. Your yes has been a banner lifted in the spirit world, and I want you to make a prophetic declaration in agreement with what heaven already sees. Write this number in the comments: 111. This is not superstition. It is not a ritual. It is simply your visible way of saying, I agree with my obedience. Just as Israel raised memorial stones to mark where God had moved, so too this number is a marker in your journey. It says, I stood. I said yes. And I am walking forward. Alders. And as you write it, remember what it symbolizes: obedience as your sail, the Spirit as your wind, and destiny as the horizon you are moving toward. Your yes has power. Your yes carries weight. And because of it, the heavens have already smiled. Obedience, chosen one, is not about perfection. It is about direction. Every time you align your step with God's word, even if shaky, you shift the course of your future. Your yes has silenced voices of accusation that ran through your family line. What once looked like a repeating cycle has now been broken, because you dared to obey when it was hardest. And this number 111, you declare, is not just digits. It represents unity of heart, soul, and spirit, walking as one with God. It is heaven's reminder: your obedience has eternal weight. Chosen one. You may not realize it, but your voice carries a weight that goes beyond natural sound. The words you whisper in prayer, the sighs you release in moments of weakness, even the silent groans of your heart, these are not wasted. In the spiritual realm, they are amplified like trumpets shaking the atmosphere. The enemy has always feared your voice. That is why he tried to silence you through discouragement, betrayal, or even seasons of isolation. He wanted you to believe that your words did not matter, that your prayers fell empty. But the truth is the opposite. Your voice is a weapon, a divine instrument forged by God to tear down strongholds. As it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4, the weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. No, your voice, though unseen, carries that divine power. Each time you prayed when you felt nothing, heaven recorded it as a strike against darkness. Each declaration of faith, even spoken with trembling lips, has been like arrows loosed into the unseen. You thought you were just whispering hope. In reality, you were commanding spiritual armies to advance. Consider the prophet Elijah. He prayed on Mount Carmel, and the heavens shut. He prayed again, and the heavens opened with rain. It was not the eloquence of his words, but the authority behind them that shifted the earth. You too carry that same authority. When you speak in alignment with God's will, creation itself bends to listen. There was once a woman who prayed daily for her child. Though the child had wandered far from God, her prayers seemed unanswered for years. People told her to give up, to accept what she saw. But she continued. Her whispers became like steady rain, softening hard soil. Years later, that child returned, transformed, and when asked why, the child said, I could feel someone covering me in prayer. Her voice had built a wall of fire around him. That is the hidden power you carry. Imagine your voice as a trumpet in the hands of heaven's army. Even when blown softly, the sound carries far. It awakens those asleep. It breaks the silence in battle. It announces victory before it is visible. That is why your voice matters. The enemy fears it more than you know. And yes, there are times when your voice shakes, when doubt creeps in, when fatigue silences you. But remember this, the Spirit intercedes with groans too deep for words. Even your sighs become prayers when you lift them toward heaven. You are never voiceless. Think of a single drop of water falling into a still pond. The ripples spread outward, far beyond the place of impact. In the same way, your whispered prayer may feel small, but its ripple touches lives you may never meet. Perhaps your midnight intercession saved a stranger. Perhaps your quiet plea shifted history in ways you will only understand in eternity. Your voice is not ordinary. It is prophetic. It calls what is not as though it were. It disrupts lies and replaces them with truth. It declares healing where there is sickness, peace where there is chaos, light where there is darkness. When you open your mouth, heaven and earth respond. The psalmist once declared that God inhabits the praises of his people. That means your voice is not only heard, it becomes a dwelling place for the presence of God. Every hallelujah, every whispered thank you, builds a throne where he sits enthroned in your atmosphere. That is why worship feels heavy. Why peace descends when you sing or pray. It is the King coming to dwell in the house of your voice. So, chosen one, do not be silent. Do not believe the lie that says your words are wasted. Lift your prayers. Lift your praise. Lift your declarations. Because every sound you release is a seed planted in eternity, and those seeds will bear fruit. Some in this life, others in the life to come. Never forget, your voice is not just sound, it is warfare. It is creation. It is light breaking into the dark. Your voice, chosen one, is a bridge between heaven and earth. Every word you release builds connection, pulling what is unseen into the realm of the visible. That is why silence is dangerous. The enemy hopes to mute you, because he knows your sound carries authority. But you must remember, even your weakest whisper carries eternal weight when aligned with God. Whether in joy, in sorrow, or in confusion, lift your voice, for in doing so, you are shaping atmospheres, declaring truth, and setting the stage for miracles. Chosen one, have you noticed how the tables are turning? What once worked against you is now beginning to work for you. The very things that tried to bury you are becoming the soil that strengthens your roots. The very voices that mocked you will be forced to witness your rising. What felt like loss is being repurposed as gain. This is the way of the kingdom. God does not waste pain. He bends even the schemes of the enemy into material for your growth. Joseph said it clearly. After years of betrayal, slavery, and prison, you intended to harm me. But God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. That same principle is woven into your story. Think about it. The rejection you faced gave you resilience. The delays you endured developed patience. The loneliness that cut deep carved out space for God to dwell closer. What once felt like defeat has been shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry the glory that is coming. As it is written in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This is not a shallow comfort. It is the architecture of your destiny. Everything that looked like rubble is being rearranged into the foundation of your testimony. Every broken piece is becoming part of the mosaic. To human eyes, the fragments seem meaningless, but when heaven's hand arranges them, they form a masterpiece. Let me share a picture. Imagine a potter at his wheel. The clay resists, collapses, and even breaks apart. Yet the potter does not discard it. He gathers the fragments, wets them again, and reshapes them with greater care. In the end, the vessel is not only stronger, but more beautiful because of the breaking. That is you. The tables are turning not because you forced it, but because the potter never let go. And here is the mystery. The very weight that once crushed you is now your testimony. The heartbreak that once silenced you has given you authority to comfort others. The failure that once shamed you has turned into wisdom that will guide others to safety. The ashes of your past are becoming the incense of your worship. Think also of Esther. She was an orphan, hidden and overlooked, thrust into a palace where she did not belong. What looked like disadvantage was God's positioning. The rejection that marked her early years became the humility that prepared her for influence. At the right moment, the tables turned, and the one who once had no voice became the voice that saved a nation. The same God who turned Esther's story is turning yours. Chosen one. You may still feel the weight of what tried to break you. You may still carry memories of nights you thought you wouldn't survive. But the truth is this: those very moments have become altars. They testify not to your weakness, but to God's strength that carried you through. The tables turning does not always happen in a sudden flash. Sometimes it is slow, like the dawn creeping over the horizon. But it is happening. What was meant for harm has been overruled. What was designed as a trap has become the stage for your elevation. Imagine standing on a battlefield. At first, you are outnumbered, surrounded, and pressed on every side. But then the tide shifts. Reinforcements arrive. The enemy, once confident, begins to retreat. That is the season you are stepping into. The tide has shifted. The tables have turned. And when you look back, you will see clearly every delay, every loss, every rejection was not wasted. It was part of a greater story. The storm did not destroy you, it revealed you. The fire did not consume you, it refined you. The tables have turned. And now your life will bear witness to the God who redeems all things. So walk forward with quiet confidence. Chosen one. The story has already shifted in your favor. What once stood against you has no power to stop what God is about to unfold through you. The turning of the tables is not just about your relief, it is about God's glory. When others see what He has done for you, they will know that no power of darkness can outlast His hand. And soon, the very places that once felt like prisons will become platforms. You will not only walk free, but you will lead others out. For what was meant to end you has only revealed that you cannot be ended. You are chosen. Chosen one. The fire you walked through was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. Every trial, every test, every crushing moment was not a punishment. It was preparation. You were being purified like gold, shaped like iron in the forge, and anointed like oil pressed from olives. The flames that tried to consume you only burned away what could not remain. That is why you stand stronger now. That is why you shine in ways you never did before. The pain you thought would kill you has carved out a depth in your soul that now carries heaven's weight. What others see as scars, God sees as marks of glory. Think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, standing in Babylon's furnace, bound by ropes, thrown into flames. Yet when the fire raged, the Son of God stood with them. The ropes were burned away, but not their bodies, not their faith. They emerged without even the smell of smoke. That is your story too. You did not just survive the fire, you came out carrying freedom you could not have gained any other way. And the apostle writes in the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested, as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. Your life has been refined in the furnace of affliction. The nights you cried out, the days you endured, the moments you thought you were breaking, those were the flames shaping you into something unbreakable. God did not allow the fire to destroy you. He allowed it to reveal what cannot be destroyed in you. There was once a man who worked in a blacksmith's shop, shaping metal for hours over hot coals. He explained that the secret was not the fire itself, but the hands that held the iron. The same flame could either strengthen or shatter, depending on the smith's touch. Chosen one, your trials have always been under the careful hands of the Master. He knew exactly how much heat to allow, how long to hold you, when to cool you. That is why you are still standing. Your endurance has terrified the enemy. He expected the fire to consume you, but instead it revealed the resilience of your spirit. He expected your praise to die out, but instead your voice became louder. He expected your hope to collapse, but instead it grew roots. The fire did not end you, it defined you. And now, chosen one, I want you to put this truth into words. Leave our declaration below. Write these 3 simple words: I am refined. Oh, do not underestimate the weight of this act. When you type it, you are not merely writing a comment. You are declaring to heaven, to earth, and to every shadow that tried to end you, the fire did not win. I carry the mark of refinement. It is a testimony that your trial has become your triumph. Your story is not one of ashes, it is one of beauty forged in fire. And the glow you now carry will light the path for many others still in their own furnace. Chosen one. Refinement is not only about what is removed, but about what is revealed. Gold in its raw form looks dull and ordinary, but when placed in fire, impurities rise to the surface, and what remains shines with brilliance. In the same way, your fire has revealed the treasure inside you that was hidden beneath the weight of the world. Many people confuse refinement with punishment. They see the fire and assume God has abandoned them. Yet in truth, refinement is evidence of value. No jeweler wastes fire on worthless stones. The intensity of your trial only confirms how priceless you are in heaven's eyes. The greater the fire, the greater the treasure it is preparing to reveal. Think of Job, who lost everything, yet declared, "When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold." His story is proof that the fire does not strip identity, it proves it. Job's faith, tested in suffering, became a witness for generations. And like him, your endurance through suffering will become a story of hope for those who come after you. The refining also gives you authority. You can speak to others in pain, not from theory, but from testimony. You can say, "I have walked through flames, and I know God is faithful. Your scars become credentials. They qualify you to comfort the broken, to strengthen the weak, to guide those lost in fire. So do not despise what you endured. Do not curse the flames that once terrified you, for now you can stand, unshaken, carrying proof that the fire bowed to your faith. You are not a victim of flames. You are the living evidence that God walks with His chosen through every furnace. Chosen one. Do you hear it? There is a celebration in heaven rising because of you. Angels rejoice, not only when someone turns to God, but also when someone endures, when someone refuses to quit, when someone remains faithful through storms. Your perseverance has become a song in the courts of heaven, and that song is about you. At times you may have wondered if your steps mattered. You doubted whether your prayers carried weight or whether your faithfulness was worth it. But heaven has already answered with a resounding yes. Every hidden act of obedience has been added like notes in a melody. Every tear you wiped away in secret became another chord. Now that melody is forming into a song of triumph, sung by angels in celebration of your story. Imagine a great banquet hall where long tables are set with radiant light. Each place setting has a name, and at one of those seats is yours. The host of heaven has not forgotten you, nor misplaced your invitation. The feast is being prepared, and your endurance has reserved your place at that table. And Scripture reminds us of this promise. In the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10, "Be faithful, even to the point of death, and I will give you life as your victor's crown." Your faithfulness has already drawn heaven's attention. But this is not the end. It is a beginning. The song is still being written. The testimony is still unfolding. You are being lifted into a new chapter where your story becomes an anthem for others still struggling in silence. Now, let me speak to your heart with gentleness when you like and when you share. It is like lighting a lantern in the darkness, someone wandering in the night, far away and weary, will see that glow and find their way home. What seems like a small act is in truth a beacon of hope. And when you choose to subscribe, it is like a single star joining a constellation. One star shines brightly, but when it connects with others, it tells a story across the heavens. That is what you are helping create, a testimony of light stretching from heart to heart. There is also another invitation, spoken softly and never as pressure. To donate is like dropping a coin into a deep well of fresh water. You may not see who drinks from it, but somewhere, someone parched will draw from that well and be revived. Your giving is not a transaction. It is nourishment for those who are still thirsty in their wilderness. Perhaps these words have been shade for you in a season of scorching heat. If so, then you know the relief of resting beneath a tree. Your donation is like pouring water at the roots of that tree. The shade already exists, but with your care, the branches spread wider, and the fruit grows sweeter for many more to enjoy. But hear me clearly, your worth is not defined by whether you give. Your crown is not measured by contribution. God's love does not increase or decrease by what you offer. This is not obligation, it is invitation. It is the beauty of a choice freely made. Picture standing by a flowing river. You release your seed into the current, and though you may not see where it travels, far downstream, someone bends down, cups their hands, and drinks. They live because you released what you carried. That is the unseen power of generosity. It touches lives you may never meet. So, if your heart feels stirred, step forward with joy. If it does not, rest in the knowledge that you are still chosen, still loved, still carried. Every like, every share, every subscribe, every donation is simply another way of lifting a torch higher, keeping the flame alive. Chosen one. Heaven's celebration has already begun over your faithfulness. And when you raise your torch, whether through spreading the message or sustaining it, you join heaven's chorus. What was once a whisper becomes a song. What was once your private endurance becomes a testimony, lighting the way for many. And one day, when the final song is sung and the banquet table is revealed, you will understand. Every faithful step, every seed sown, every light lifted, it all mattered. It all became part of the eternal celebration. The celebration of heaven is not distant. Chosen one, it begins now. Each step of faith you take adds another note to the anthem, another flame to the torch of victory. And as you walk forward, remember this truth: nothing has been wasted. Every act of endurance, every seed of love, is eternal treasure stored for you. Chosen one, do you know why the opposition against you was so fierce? Why the battles you faced seemed relentless, and why the weight pressed down harder on you than on others? It is because you were always the one the enemy feared. You carry something he cannot withstand. You hold authority that cannot be bought or faked. From the day you were marked, you became a target not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. The attacks you endured were not random. They were strategies designed to silence you, to drain you, to make you doubt who you are. But the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still standing, is proof of what hell already knows. It cannot stop you. You are more resilient than the weapons formed against you, because the one who formed you is greater than them all. Think of David standing before Goliath. The giant mocked him, towering with strength and arrogance, certain of victory. But Goliath's confidence blinded him to the truth. David carried a weapon unseen, the presence of the living God. What looked like weakness in the boy terrified the enemy. In the same way, what you carry is not visible to many, but it has always been obvious to darkness. The scriptures affirm this in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is not poetry, it is reality. Weapons may form, but they will never finish. Accusations may rise, but they will collapse under the weight of truth. Consider the times you faced accusations, lies, or betrayals. The sting cut deep, yet somehow those words did not bury you. Instead, they revealed the unshakable core within you. Each attack was like wind against a mountain. It howled, but the rock did not move. That rock is what you are standing on, and it is why the enemy's plans have failed again and again. There was once a woman whose community rejected her because of her past. Everywhere she went, whispers followed. She thought her story disqualified her. But when the Spirit touched her life, those very scars became her testimony. People who once condemned her began to be transformed by her words, because she spoke with authority, forged in fire. The enemy had tried to use shame to silence her, but instead God turned her voice into a trumpet. That is what is happening to you. The battles you faced have given you authority. You cannot be deceived in areas where you have already conquered. You cannot be shaken in places where you have already stood. Every struggle became training. Every attack became preparation. The enemy knows this, which is why he tried so hard to stop you before you realized it yourself. Think of an eagle. When the storm rises, other birds flee for shelter, but the eagle spreads its wings and soars higher, carried by the very winds meant to destroy it. That is what you have done. The storms did not break you, they lifted you, and now you carry perspective that can only come from altitude. Chosen one. You need to see yourself clearly. You are not fragile. You are not overlooked. You are not someone struggling to survive. You are the one hell could not silence, the one storms could not break, the one fire could not consume. That is why the enemy fears you, because you know now that his weapons have no authority over you. Your very existence is resistance. Every time you wake up and choose faith, you declare war on darkness. Every time you speak truth, you dismantle lies. Every time you pray, you disrupt strategies of hell. That is why you have been targeted. That is why the pressure has been intense. But it is also why you are unstoppable. So understand this. You are not just surviving opposition, you are defeating it. You are not only standing, you are advancing. And every step you take forward is another reminder to the enemy that no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. The fear the enemy holds toward you is proof of your calling. He does not waste resources on the insignificant. He presses hardest against those carrying heaven's authority. You are living evidence of this truth. Your scars are not signs of weakness, but proof that battles were fought and won. Each mark is a reminder that you endured fire, yet emerged refined, not consumed. And from this point forward, every step you take is no longer defense, it is offense. You are not running from the battle. You are advancing, carrying victory that cannot be taken away. Chosen one. There are moments in your journey when heaven cannot hold back its joy. Do you realize that? There was a day, a precise moment, when you stepped out in faith, and the heart of God smiled with delight. It wasn't the loudness of the act or the visibility of it, it was the purity. Heaven does not measure the size of your step, but the surrender in it. Maybe it was when you forgave the one who hurt you deeply, though no one else knew the battle it cost. Maybe it was when you gave thanks, even as tears rolled down your cheeks. Maybe it was when you whispered, "Yes, Lord," though fear screamed at you to say no. In that moment, heaven leaned close, and joy rippled through the courts of glory. The scriptures capture this mystery in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verse 10. It is written, "In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." If heaven rejoices when one heart turns, how much more when you, his chosen, walk in obedience and faith? Your life has become a living testimony that God still moves, still redeems, still transforms. The smile of heaven over you is not a vague concept, it is a reality. Angels have celebrated your endurance. The Father has sung over your faith. The Spirit has rejoiced in your yes. Think of a parent watching their child take their first steps. The stumble doesn't frustrate them, it fills them with joy, because the step itself is victory. That is how heaven has watched you. The times you felt clumsy, the times you thought you were failing, heaven saw as triumph because you kept moving forward. There was once a man who struggled for years in silence. He wrestled with doubt, with weakness, with shame. Then one night, broken but sincere, he cried out, "Lord, I give you my life." Nochoir sang. No crowd applauded, but in heaven, the sound of rejoicing was deafening. The smile of God over that one yes changed the course of his destiny. That story echoes in your life. Every yes you've given has not gone unnoticed. And here is something you need to understand. Joy is contagious in heaven. When the Father delights in you, angels join in. Creation echoes it. And even your own soul begins to sense it. That is why, after moments of surrender, you feel a peace that cannot be explained. It is heaven's celebration overflowing into your spirit. Picture a field of wheat bending under the wind. One stalk moves, then another, until the whole field sways in rhythm. That is what your obedience does. It sets movement into the unseen. Heaven's smile spreads outward, touching lives far beyond your own. Chosen one, I want you to mark this moment, not as ritual, but as declaration, not as superstition, but as testimony. Heaven smiled, and you need to remember it. I invite you to write this number in the comments, 999. This number is not magic. It is a marker, like stones placed by Israel after crossing the Jordan. A reminder that God moved here, that heaven rejoiced here. When you write 999, you are saying, I agree with heaven's joy over my life. I will not forget this moment. Let that declaration be more than text. Let it settle in your heart as truth. You bring joy to the Father. Your steps matter. Your faith matters. Your yes is celebrated. And the beauty is this: heaven's joy is not temporary. It is not like human applause that fades quickly. It is eternal. Long after this season passes, the sound of heaven's celebration over you will still echo in eternity. So walk with your head lifted. You are not only chosen, you are celebrated. Heaven has smiled, and its joy rests upon you. The number 999 is not chance. Chosen one. It is a prophetic reminder that what once felt like the end has actually been transformed into a beginning. 3 nines stacked together point to fullness, completion, and divine closure. Heaven's way of saying, the old season is finished. Something new has begun. When you declare 999, you are not typing digits, you are agreeing with heaven's timeline. You are saying, I believe my past is sealed, my present is blessed, and my future is unfolding under God's hand. It is a way of stepping forward in faith, marking that you will not return to what is behind. So let your heart take comfort in this. Every battle you endured, every prayer you offered, every yes you gave, it has brought you here, to the threshold of a new chapter stamped with heaven's joy. Chosen one. What you often underestimate is the ripple of your yes. You think your obedience affects only your own life, but in truth, it spills over into places you cannot see, touching lives you may never meet. Every time you align your heart with God, it is as if a stone is dropped into the still water of eternity, creating circles that spread far beyond your reach. Your decisions carry generational weight. You may feel small in the moment, whispering a quiet yes when no one else is watching. But heaven knows that yes echoes through bloodlines, cycles of brokenness are interrupted, patterns of despair are rewritten, futures are redirected. What once seemed inevitable in your family's story is shifted because you chose obedience. Think of Abraham. One man's yes to leave his homeland, to trust God in uncertainty, became the seed of nations. His obedience carved out a destiny not only for himself, but for generations yet unborn. And you are walking in that same principle. Your faith is not just for you, it is altering the spiritual inheritance of those who will come after you. Scripture affirms this in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 6. But showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. Is it? What a staggering promise. Your choice to walk in love, to keep God's word, has the power to release blessing that will outlive you, cascading through centuries. This is why the enemy has fought your obedience so fiercely, because he knows it is never just about you. Let me share a story. There was once a man who grew up in a family scarred by addiction. Every generation before him had fallen into the same trap. He was expected to repeat the cycle, but one day, broken and weary, he surrendered his life to God. It seemed like a small decision at the time, a quiet prayer whispered in his bedroom. Yet years later, his children grew up in a completely different environment, safe, loved, guided by faith. And now, his grandchildren know blessings instead of bondage. His one yes altered everything. This is the ripple of your yes. When you resist temptation, when you forgive instead of holding on to bitterness, when you choose prayer instead of silence, you are not only shaping your life, you are shaping generations. Imagine a river that has always flowed in one direction, carrying debris and destruction downstream. Suddenly, a great stone is placed in its path, redirecting the current. That stone is your obedience. The flow of your family line changes because you stood where others fell. And here is the beauty. You may never fully see the extent of your ripple on this side of eternity. Some effects will only be revealed in heaven. You will meet people who were touched by your faith without ever knowing it. You will see generations rising in light because you refuse to bow to darkness. Chosen one, do not despise the small. Yes, do not think it insignificant. A seed is small, but when planted, it grows into a tree that gives shade to many. Your obedience may feel hidden, but one day it will stand tall. A tree of life, sheltering countless souls. Consider Ruth, a widow with nothing, who chose to follow Naomi and cling to God. Her yes seemed personal, even desperate. Yet that yes positioned her in the lineage of David, and eventually Jesus himself. A widow's quiet choice became a cornerstone in redemption's story. That is the power of a single yes. So, when you feel unseen, when obedience feels costly, remember the ripple. Heaven is not only smiling at your surrender, it is multiplying it. Your yes has already opened doors for others. Your yes has already altered stories yet to be written. And one day, when you stand in eternity, you will see the vast expanse of what your obedience accomplished. You will meet faces you never knew. People who say, "Because you stood, I could stand. Because you obeyed, I found hope. Because you said yes, my life was changed." Wah! This is your legacy. This is the ripple of your yes. It is greater than you imagine, longer lasting than you think, and it is still spreading even now. Your obedience today is a seed hidden in the soil of eternity. Though unseen, it is already sprouting roots that will one day break through as fruit in the lives of many. And when that harvest comes, it will testify that a single yes, whispered in faith, carried enough weight to shift the destiny of nations. That is the ripple you are living. Chosen one. There is a mantle resting upon you now, a weight, not of burden, but of authority. It is something you did not choose for yourself, something you could not have earned by effort or talent. It is something placed upon you because heaven saw you faithful in hidden places, while others sought titles, platforms, and recognition. You sought only to survive with integrity. That was enough for God to trust you with more. A mantle is not always visible to the world, but it is always recognized in the spirit. Just as prophets of old carried garments, signifying their calling, you now carry a covering that sets you apart. When Elijah cast his mantle upon Elisha, it was not merely fabric that touched him, it was a transfer of responsibility, of destiny, of divine assignment. Elisha could no longer live as he once had. The mantle demanded his surrender, his focus, his yes. So it is with you. The scriptures reveal in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you, wherever you go." That command was not just encouragement, it was mantle. Joshua stepped into the weight of leading a nation after Moses. And though he felt small, the mantle carried him. You may feel unqualified for the authority God has placed upon you. You may still hear the voices of your past telling you that you are not enough. But a mantle does not rest upon the qualified, it qualifies the one it covers. Your mantle is not proof of your strength, it is proof of God's trust in you. Think of Joseph, stripped of his coat of many colors by jealous brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, imprisoned for lies. It seemed his mantle was stolen. But the true mantle was never the fabric, it was the authority that rested on him. And no prison could take it away. In due time, he rose to stand before Pharaoh, clothed in royal robes, but more importantly, carrying the authority of heaven. That is the mantle you are stepping into, authority that cannot be stripped by betrayal, rejection, or delay. Mantles come with weight. They are not ornaments to admire, but coverings to carry. The mantle means responsibility, to stand where others fall, to see what others ignore, to hear what others dismiss. It means your voice will sometimes be unpopular, because mantles speak truth, even when it costs. It means your heart will be pulled toward intercession, because mantles are heavy with compassion. And yet, a mantle is not meant to crush you. It is tailored for you. The very shoulders that carried years of trial have been prepared to carry it, just as a blacksmith tempers iron until it can bear great force. Your seasons of pressure have shaped you to hold this new weight. There was once a young woman who felt too weak to lead. She doubted herself constantly, always comparing her lack to others' abundance. But in prayer one night, she saw a vision of a cloak being draped over her shoulders. It was heavy, yet it fit perfectly. The Lord whispered, "You are not chosen because you are strong. You are strong because you are chosen." From that moment, her life shifted. She began to walk not in her own confidence, but in the mantle given her. The same is happening to you. Imagine stepping into a storm with a cloak that shields you from wind and rain. The storm is real, but the mantle keeps you steady. Imagine walking into a room, and though no one sees it with their eyes, the atmosphere shifts because of what rests upon you. This is the unseen reality you carry now. Chosen one. Your mantle is generational. It is not only for your lifetime, but for those who come after you. Elijah's mantle passed to Elisha, and Elisha performed even greater works. What rests upon you now is both inheritance and legacy. You are receiving what others carried before, and you will release it multiplied to those who follow. So do not shrink back from this mantle. Do not question if it truly belongs to you. It would not rest upon your shoulders if heaven had not already decided you were ready. Walk in it boldly. Speak under its covering. Pray with its weight. And live knowing that you are no longer carrying only your story. You are carrying a mantle of destiny. Chosen one. The moment has come for you to rise in the fullness of who you are. The mantle upon you is not only a covering, it is a crown. You are stepping into a season where authority meets visibility, where the hidden preparation becomes a public assignment, and heaven has not placed this weight on you to leave you stumbling. It has been given so you may stand boldly. With the strength of the Spirit guiding your steps, you may still feel the trembling of your past, the hesitation of your heart. But look closely, the crown fits. It rests not on perfection but on surrender. It shines not because of your strength, but because of the one who placed it there. This is why the enemy fought you so fiercely. He feared this very moment, your rising. The scriptures remind us in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and to all who long for his appearing. This is not only Paul's promise, it is yours. Think of a torchbearer in a great procession. The flame is carried high, and others draw courage simply from seeing the light. That is you now. Your rising is not for pride, it is for illumination. Where others stumble, you will guide. Where others despair, you will declare hope. And where darkness once seemed final, your light will testify that it was never stronger than the dawn. But hear me now, chosen one. With gentleness and sincerity, your light is not meant to remain contained. When you like and share these words, it is as if you are lifting your torch higher in the procession. Someone further down the road, lost in shadows, will see your flame and remember that they too can walk forward. And when you choose to subscribe, it is like joining a choir. One voice is beautiful, but many voices together create harmony that fills the air. By subscribing, you are not merely receiving more words, you are becoming part of a chorus that carries this message further, louder, stronger. There is also a more tender invitation I want to place before you. When you donate, it is like planting a vineyard on land that once lay barren. The fruit may not grow overnight, but in time, countless souls will taste the sweetness of what you have sown. You may never see all the faces who are nourished by it, but in eternity, you will know them. This is not obligation. This is beauty. Just as rain does not beg the clouds, but comes as gift, so too giving flows when the heart is moved. Your donation is like water poured into dry soil, where roots already wait to drink. With it, trees grow taller, shade spreads wider, fruit becomes abundant for those still wandering hungry. And even if you do nothing but receive, remember this: heaven still delights in you. The crown still rests on your head. The fire still burns in your hands. Nothing you do here adds or subtracts from your chosenness. These invitations are not demands. They are pathways for those who feel stirred to join the work. Let me give you one more picture. Imagine standing on a shoreline, watching a single pebble dropped into the sea. The ripples touch places unseen, far beyond what your eyes can measure. Every like, every share, every subscription, every donation, it is a pebble released into eternity's waters. The ripples will reach lives you never imagined. And if these words have stirred something deep within you, I invite you to leave just a few words in the comments. I rise crowned, not for me, not even for others, but as a marker in your own journey. Just as Israel once built altars of stone to remember what God had done, your words will be a written altar in this space, a testimony that you are stepping into your crown without fear. So, walk forward with peace. Choose freely, without pressure. Act only as your spirit feels led. And whether you light your torch higher, lift your voice in the choir, plant vineyards, or simply receive the shade and fruit already given you, remain part of this divine story. Chosen one, rise now with your crown. Step into the light unashamed. For heaven does not only see you, it celebrates you. And every ripple of your rising will echo far beyond what you can measure. Chosen one, there is an inheritance waiting for you that is far greater than anything you have yet touched. Every sacrifice you made, every night you endured in silence, every battle fought in the unseen has not been forgotten. They have been stored, kept, and guarded in heaven's treasury. What you thought you lost will return, not always in the same form, but in ways far more abundant and eternal. There are treasures that rust cannot corrode, thieves cannot steal, and time cannot erode. These are the rewards set aside for the faithful, the ones who kept walking when their feet were weary, the ones who believed when hope seemed faint, the ones who chose God when the world offered easier paths. That is you. The scriptures remind us of this truth. In the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him, as you have helped his people and continue to help them. Every unseen act of love has been recorded. Every unseen act of service has been honored. Heaven forgets nothing. Think of the farmer who plants seeds in the ground. For a long time, there is no sign of life. The soil looks barren, and it seems as if the seed has been wasted. But underground, roots are stretching, foundations are being built. Then suddenly, in the right season, the harvest bursts forth greater than the seed, greater than the waiting. This is your inheritance. What you have sown in tears, in prayers, in faith, will reap a harvest you cannot yet measure. There was once a man who spent years quietly serving others, never seeking recognition. He gave what he had, even when it was little. To him, it seemed like drops in a vast ocean. But one day, looking back, he realized an entire community had been changed by those small drops. Children had grown strong. Families had been restored. Hope had been revived, all because he did not withhold his seed. The eternal weight of his small choices became a legacy. That is the kind of treasure being written into your story. Chosen one, Do not think heaven's reward is only for some distant future beyond death. Yes, there is an eternal inheritance waiting. But even now, glimpses of that reward will break into your life. Peace where there should be chaos. Provision where there should be lack. Joy that rises from ashes. These are signs of the eternal reward already flowing into your present. Consider Paul, who endured beatings, prisons, betrayals, and endless hardship. He spoke of a crown laid up for him, but he also spoke of rejoicing in the fruit of those he discipled. His reward was both future and present. The same is true for you. The eternal reward is not only what is stored beyond the veil, it is also the joy of seeing lives changed around you because you endured. And yet, the fullness of your inheritance cannot be measured here. Words are too small, imagination too limited. You are storing treasures in a kingdom where time has no decay. Every choice to forgive, every choice to worship, every act of love becomes part of that eternal account. You may forget the details, but heaven does not. Imagine walking into a vast hall of light in eternity. On the walls are scenes of your life, moments you considered insignificant, a prayer whispered in pain, a kind word spoken when you were weary, a hidden gift no one else saw. Each moment glows with eternal weight, and surrounding you are people you never met. Yet their eyes shine with gratitude, because your choices touched their lives in ways you never knew. This is your eternal reward. So do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not believe the lie that your sacrifices vanish into nothing. They are seeds in the soil of eternity, and they will rise again as harvest both here and in the life to come. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The inheritance awaiting you is not fragile or fleeting. It is everlasting, built not on what you have lost, but on what you have given. And when the day comes to receive it in full, you will know every tear, every yes, every step of faith was worth it. And when you finally behold the fullness of that inheritance, there will be no regret, no sorrow, only joy. The weight of every trial will vanish in the light of eternal reward, and you will understand fully what now you only glimpse. Nothing was wasted, and everything was woven into glory. Chosen one, everything has been leading to this moment, your destiny sealed in glory. The journey has been long, filled with valleys and mountains, nights of weeping and mornings of hope. You have endured storms that should have broken you, carried burdens that seemed unbearable, and walked through fire that could have consumed you. Yet here you stand, not only surviving, but shining. Your life has become a testimony that darkness cannot win against light, that despair cannot silence hope, and that death itself is defeated by the life of God within you. The seal of destiny is not something fragile or uncertain, it is unshakable. It is written not with ink, but with the eternal hand of God. From before the foundation of the world, He saw you, knew you, and marked you for this very time. Your steps may have stumbled, your faith may have wavered, but His purpose never faltered. What He began in you, He will complete, and no power of hell can undo it. Scripture declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 30, and those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. Those He justified, He also glorified. Notice the certainty. Not might be glorified, but glorified. Your destiny is sealed as surely as the sunrise, as surely as the tides, as surely as the promises of God that never fail. Think of a king sealing a decree with his signet ring. Once pressed into wax, the mark cannot be erased. That seal carries authority, permanence, and identity. In the same way, heaven's seal rests upon your destiny. No one can blot it out. No voice can revoke it. No enemy can alter it. What has been sealed by the King of Kings remains unbreakable. There was once a young man who feared that his failures had disqualified him from God's plan. He wandered, lost and ashamed, certain that he had wasted his calling. Yet when he returned in humility, he found the door still open, the purpose still intact. He realized that his destiny had not been destroyed, it had only been delayed. God's seal had remained unbroken, waiting for his return. Your story carries that same truth. What God has sealed cannot be stolen. Imagine standing before a vast tapestry woven with threads of gold. At first, up close, you only saw knots, tangles, and broken patterns. You wondered if your life had been wasted in confusion. But as you step back, you see the image in full, a masterpiece where every knot became part of the beauty. This is how your story appears in heaven's view. What once felt meaningless is revealed as glorious. Chosen one. Your destiny is not only sealed, it is radiant. You are not stepping into darkness, but into light brighter than you can yet imagine. Every trial you endured has become oil for your lamp. Every sacrifice fuel for your fire. Every prayer a jewel in your crown. Your story is not ending, it is entering the chapter of eternal glory. And this glory is not yours alone to carry. It is a glory that reflects the one who called you, a glory that points others to his goodness. You are like a mirror polished through trials, now reflecting the brilliance of his face. When others see you, they will glimpse his light, and they will know God is faithful. There is peace in this truth. You do not need to strive to secure your destiny. You do not need to fear losing it. The seal of heaven has already marked you. You are kept, preserved, and carried by the one who has written your story from beginning to end. So, walk forward now with courage, not as one uncertain, but as one crowned, not as one striving, but as one sealed. Your destiny rests not in fragile hands, but in the unshakable grip of eternity. And when you take your final step into glory, you will see fully what you have only known in part. You were chosen, you were carried, and you were crowned forever. In that moment, chosen one, all questions will fade. The why of your pain, the how of your waiting, the when of your breakthrough, all will dissolve in the radiance of his face. Every tear you shed will be answered with joy, unspeakable. Every scar you carried will shine like proof of a battle won. Nothing will remain wasted, and eternity itself will testify. The seal of glory upon you cannot be broken. You will walk crowned, complete, and forever embraced by the one who called you chosen, chosen one. We have walked this journey together, from the hidden valleys of your pain to the mountaintops of your destiny. You have seen how heaven paused for you, how your tears were gathered, how your voice became a trumpet, and how your obedience shifted generations. You have discovered the mantle, the crown, the fire, the inheritance, and now the seal of eternal glory. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of who you have always been. And as this chapter closes, I want to invite you gently, not as command, but as choice. When you like and share, it is like placing a torch into another's hand. The flame you carry has already burned through darkness. Let it pass on. So, someone else wandering in shadow might find their way home. When you subscribe, it is like planting your roots in a living stream. The flow continues. The nourishment remains, and you grow stronger with others, walking the same path. Alone, you are a tree, but together, a forest rises, unshakable against storms. When you donate, it is like pouring oil into a lamp. The flame already burns, but with your oil, it burns brighter, longer, reaching places you will never step into yourself. Lives you will never meet will be warmed and guided by that light. And finally, I invite you to leave a comment, just a few words of your heart. Think of it as carving your initials into a stone altar, a marker saying, I was here, I received, I chose to rise. And when you leave your words in the comments, it is like adding another stone to a rising monument together. We build a testimony that cannot be forgotten. So walk freely, act as you feel led, and remember, every gesture of support, no matter how small, is another ripple in eternity's ocean. You are not just chosen, you are seen.